as we are live inside the Cam Henderson Center on the beautiful campus of Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia. And on this first Saturday in the new year of 2025, everyone fired up for a showdown between the visiting Trojans of Troy and the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Troy coming in with a record of 9-4 overall, 2-0 in league play. Marshall is 8-7 and 1-1 in the Sun Belt. Troy has won 4 straight. Marshall hopeful of beginning a string of 2 straight here after a big win on Thursday night. Greetings from Huntington, along with former Marshall standout Odd Elmore and our great crew. I'm Mark Martin, and we are happy to have you with us here on ESPN Plus. Great to be back with you as always, my man, and a big win the other night for both Marshall and Troy. Troy knocking off App State on the road. They continue the road swing here today.
Yeah, Troy coming in 2-0, undefeated in conference play, whereas Marshall won the other night to go 1-1. But this is a big stretch of games for Marshall. You have a 4-game home stretch against conference opponents. You won the first one. Tonight's the second. You have to take care of business on your home court to be able to stay alive in the Sun Belt.
They're going to take on a red-hot Troy team here. Let's talk about Odd's thoughts and what you see happening in this game as we line it up here inside the Cam Henderson Center.
Yes, against App State, Troy shot the 3 ball exceptionally well. They went 12 for 35, scored over half their points from 3. So a big thing for Troy coming into this game is they're going to have to win the 3-point line. Marshall sort of struggles from there. If Marshall's able to make threes and, play them even from the 3-point line, that could be a sign of trouble for Troy. The second key for Troy is battle on the boards. Last game against Texas State, Marshall had 12 offensive rebounds. They had 34 points in the paint. So Troy's going to have to play physical and match Marshall interior. Again, if you're Marshall, contest the 3-point line. Troy's shot 59 threes through the first 2 conference games. That's where a bulk of their scoring comes from. Run them off the line, and they continue to ride the hot hands. This season's been sort of a roller coaster of who's been hot, who's not for Marshall. Last game, Mingo scored 23 points, a career high. Continue to ride his hot hand. Michael Dawson's leading the team in scoring. He's shooting almost 40% from 3 at home. So ride those 2 and see if you can't go 2-0 on this 4-game stretch right here for Marshall.
Billy's team bringing in several outstanding players to this one. Who's a couple of guys you like as we get set for this showdown?
Yeah, you want to focus on Miles Rigsby for Troy, 6'3", junior guard. He's the only player on Troy who's averaging double figures. He's averaging 12 points per game. He's getting almost 6 free throws a game. So he's a guy that Marshall's got to stay in front of and keep out of the paint. And then for Marshall, you want to focus in on Mike Dawson. He's leading the way in scoring on the season. He's averaging, 13.5 points per game. In home games, he's shooting almost 40% for 3, so he really likes the confines of this arena in Huntington. So keep going to Mike Dawson. Try to get him some open looks early and see if you can get him hot to match Troy from the 3-point line.
And there is Miles Rigsby, the young man from Fort Worth, and he'll start with older brother Marcus Rigsby Jr. So we've got a lot of brothers in this game here today. Some nice combinations. Troy defeating App State 69-61. Marshall down. Texas State Thundering Herd led wire to wire. And this one is underway here on this late Saturday afternoon. First Saturday in January 2025. Great to have you with us. Troy 3-3 on the road this season. All of Marshall's wins have come here inside the Cam Henderson Center, and it's going to be Miles Rigsby with the shuffle, and Marshall will have the basketball.
It'll be interesting to see how Marshall starts early, Mark. At the end of that game against Texas State, you sort of had a lot of blunders. You had a lead that was about 15. You let them cut it down pretty good towards the end, and you didn't finish that game very strong. So look for Marshall to try to correct that and get off to a strong start here tonight and get playing good basketball again. Mingo,
Dawson, Spear, Anna Chili Killen, and Martin are the starters. Our starting lineups being presented by your Tri-State Ford dealers. And there is Mike Dawson, can't get it to go. Obina and Chili Killen back up and in. He was honored before the game as the all-time great shot blocker here in Thundering Herd basketball history, but he's been a lot more than just a shot blocker.
No, he's been a great player for Marshall. It was awesome to see him honored before the game for that accolade of blocking shots. One of the best defenders to ever wear a Marshall uniform. But that first possession goes back to what we talked about in Odd's thoughts, is Troy is undersized. They're going to have to battle Marshall on the boards. If they can't keep him off the offensive glass and out of the paint, they're going to struggle here tonight.
See the Troy starters there with the 2 Rigsby brothers in the lineup. Same starters each game this season for head coach Scott Cross, who's in his 6th season at Troy. And that's hard to do sometimes.
That is hard to do, but that's why you're successful. If you're 9-4, you got continuity with these guys. These guys have played together all year. You're not mixing and matching lineups. He found a lineup that worked early, and they've rode it all season.
Troy preseason number 3 in the Sun Belt Conference coaches poll. Marshall 10th. Scott Cross coming into this game 89-80 as the head coach at Troy. 3 straight 20-win seasons. On the move, and nice little dish down low, and Dowd feeding. Jackson Fields, the 6'8" junior, averages 8 a game, and he's on the board. And we are tied here at 2. Zane Mingo coming off that 23-point effort against Texas State on Thursday delivers for the Thundering Herd. Mingo had 5 rebounds, 5 assists in that game, averages 11 and a half. So career high on the college scene for Mingo. Shot from the outside. Won't go there for Marcus Rigsby Jr. And Chili Killen picked up there by Tayton Connerway, who's coming off a terrific effort in that win over App State. And nice play there by Jalen Spear. Spear had a terrific outing on Thursday evening against the Bobcats from Texas State.
And this is a good sign for Marshall. The guards are being aggressive early. They're coming off that pick and roll. Last game, they sort of hesitated coming off, picked up their dribble too early. The first two of the first 3 possessions here today, they've came off looking to score, and they've been able to do that.
Nice job by the Trojans, whipping it around there. Rigsby Jr. can't get it to fall through. He was a backup last year. Outstanding student. Just what Scott Cross loves, because he was a dandy student in his day at UT Arlington. Obina and Chili Killen averaging 12.8 a contest. He's a career high of 30. Had 19 and 6 block shots against the Bobcats Thursday evening. On the move, Connerway. Here is Dowd, and Dowd can't get it to go. Nate Martin bats it into the hands of Zane Mingo. Mingo will bring it across the 10-second line.
And a big story early, Mark, is the Trojans are 0 for 3 from 3-point range. As I mentioned against App State, they hit 12 threes. 36 of the 67 points were from 3. So if Marshall can, stymie them from the 3-point line, their offense will really struggle, because the 3-point is a big weapon for them.
Joe Bellamy, 6'9", 210, redshirt junior, number 10, has checked in. Jackson Fields goes out. Here is Nate Martin going up for the slam, and he will be fouled there by Marcus Rigsby Jr.
And these are big free throws for Nate. Nate, the last few games, almost handful of games, has really struggled. So you see here, he got the drop off. He's going to get fouled. It gives him a chance to go to the line. Nobody's guarding him. Just relax, see the ball go in, and see if he can't start building some confidence and get him going as conference play is starting to unfold.
Nate Martin at the line for first-year head coach Corny Jackson. Let me tell you what, you look at the head coaches in these games, their staffs, and a couple of great college basketball players when they were out there mixing it up in Scott Cross and Corny Jackson. They have a timeout here on the floor, and Marshall with the early 7-0 advantage, 9-2 lead, and we're back in a moment here on ESPN+.
Homes.com is a new, elevated home shopping experience. Beautiful design, tremendously rich content, and my favorite touch,
it's the only site that always connects you to the listing agent.
feels like a work of art.
Lovely. What about the app?
Uh-oh! Look what I did. It's ringing. Hello? Hello? Hello?
They can't hear you.
Hello?
Because you glued a frame over the microphone.
I think I've glued the frame over the microphone.
Ding dong!
Homes.com. We've done your homework.
As a kid, I fell in love with basketball. But early in my career, my world began to close in. It was my first migraine, and it hit hard. I had to dig deep and remember, you don't face challenges alone. By seeking help, I stopped migraine from stopping me. Because true support is knowing someone's got your back. Talk to a doctor about migraine today at PfizerForAll.com.
Football fans know the biggest game of the year isn't really about the game, it's about the snacks. At ESPN, we snack on Sundays like it's our job.
Salami!
We even have snack mascots. Snack Scots. We show up for the game, but we're really here for the snacks. Except Orlovsky. He's got some strange food takes, but that's okay. More snacks for us. More snacks for us all.
7-0 road. Run for the Thundering Herd, and they lead at 9-2 here inside the Cam Henderson Center. Sixth meeting all time. Marshall leads the series 3-2. Back to 2001 first meeting, and last meeting captured by Troy there in Alabama, 82-66. Marshall 2-1 when facing off with Troy. We got this 7-0 run right now and a 9-2 advantage.
No, and Marshall's done an excellent job to start this game. They're winning the boards 5 rebounds to 1 rebound. They've kept Troy from knocking in a 3 yet. They're 0 for 3. So just like Coach Jackson drew it up coming into this game, Marshall's executing the game plan, and Troy's struggling early so far on the road.
Jalen Spear drills his 21st three-pointer of the season. And Marshall now shooting out to a 12-2 lead with this 10-0 run.
And that's been a theme at home for Marshall all year long. They've got off to quick starts at home. They pushed out leads. Now will be how they respond, because in the past, most of these games, Marshall sort of takes their foot off the pedal and allows the team sort of sneak back in a little bit. It'll be up to Marshall to try to even distance this lead a little bit greater and, make sure they have some breather in the rest of the game.
Singh has checked in for Troy, wears number 33. Nice move there by Tayton Connerway, and Connerway ends the drought there for the Trojans. Connerway matching a career high of 16 the other night against App State. He was 4 of 4, all three-pointers, had 8 assists most this season by a Troy player, and then a layup there by Gerald Bellamy. And Bellamy, the 6'9" junior, lays it in, averages 7.6 a game. Connerway averages here 10 at 9.9. Here's Mingo. Mingo to Anna Chili-Killen, who will put it through, and Obina. Anna Chili-Killen with 6.
And that play by Mingo was made by the fact he's been aggressive early. He's come off looking to shoot, looking to score. That time Troy had to respect it. He came up a little too far, created a little passing angle to Obina. He dropped it off, and Obina was able to finish.
Way out from top of the key was Bellamy. Couldn't get it to go down. He has 3 three-pointers on the season. Marshall losing the handle. Picking it up is Marcus Rigsby Jr. Gets it to his younger brother, who lays it in. And Miles Rigsby, Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year last season, gets his first basket of the game. A foul will be called on Miles Rigsby.
And you'll see here, Mark, Rigsby just got out in transition, able to get the pass ahead. He ran the lane, got the kick, drove straight to the rim. Nobody from Marshall picked him up. So Marshall's going to have to do a better job in transition defense. Trojans have struggled to score early, but they'll look to push the pace and see if they can't get some easy ones just like that last one.
Another game. Jacob Gibbs. Turn around there, couldn't get it to go. The Gibbs brothers into the game. Kate Gibbs is in there as well, and driving, and the shot is blocked. Checking in for Troy, Cooper Campbell. He wears number 3. Cooper Campbell has brother Kobe on the team. Cooper Campbell considered to be the best shooter on this Troy squad. Ryan Nutter will head into the game for the Thundering Herd, number 7. And checking out is Mingo. Victor Valdez is into the contest for the Trojans. And Carrington Keel has also stepped in. He wears number 0 for the guys in the Cardinal. Here's Spear looking for another 3. That one rattles around but won't drop, and a rebound. Nice rebound by Nutter. And then Anna Chili-Killen goes up strong, ball tapped around, and chasing it down is Spear. Nutter on the move, and Nutter will put it up there but couldn't get it to go through.
And if you're Coach Jackson, you'd love to have seen a basket there. But that's the fight you need out of your team. 3, 4, 5 chances at getting putting shots on basket. Just keep getting offensive rebounds. They're just killing Troy inside on the glass. So you want to see buckets if you're Coach Jackson, but you just enjoy that effort because that will lead to success as this game, unwinds.
Jalen Spear is out for Marshall, and Zane Mingo has come back in. Cooper Campbell, who averages 4.8, gets it across the timeline for the Trojans. And here is Valdez with it. Valdez cut off there by Anna Chili-Killen. Ball will go into the Thundering Herd bench area, and it will be Marshall's ball. Tim Comer, Eric Lowe, Bobby Besant are the officials for this late afternoon game here inside the Cam Henderson Center. Great to have you with us on ESPN Plus. Jacob Gibbs feeding his brother. Ball knocked out of bounds. It will stay with the Thundering Herd. Tony Jackson's staff consisting of Mark Klein, Adam Williams, Rob Fulford, Neil Skaggs, Scott Cross in his 6th season with Greg Young, Brandon Gilbert, Michael Worley, and Larry Cordero.
With this lineup for Marshall, with both Spears and Dawson out, you don't have a whole lot of perimeter shooting, so it'll be important for Marshall to do just that. Attack the basket, space Troy out and try to beat your man in the basket. And Obina did just that there for the and 1.
Twisting and turning, and Obina Anna Chili-Killen draws the foul. Valdez picks up the personal.
And Obina did a good job of keeping the pivot foot down. Went in there, spun in, took the contact, went through the contact, and was able to still finish.
And Chili-Killen up and in. 9 points here for the young man who played his high school basketball here in West Virginia, grew up in Nigeria. Chapmanville Regional High School helped lead the Tigers to a state title. Valdez with the little scoop, and he gets it to go through. Valdez coming in averaging 4.5 a game, 12 starts a year ago.
And that speaks to the depth of this Troy team. They only have one double-figure scorer, but they have 8 guys averaging 4 or more behind that, so they're very balanced. It could be anybody's night, any different day for this Troy team.
Mingo gets it away, and the shot won't go for Cade Gibbs. Trying to knock it down from the corner. Valdez slapped away there by Anna Chili-Killen and gets it ahead to Nutter. Back to Anna Chili-Killen. And Anna Chili-Killen now with 11 in the game, and Marshall with the 9-point edge here. Nutter to the big man, Marshall by 9 here at the Cam Henderson Center.
Who says that business isn't personal? That what we do should be separate from who we are? At Encova Insurance, we do things differently. Our agents partner with small businesses to get to the heart of what matters. Because we're in the peace of mind business, and we take that very personally with auto, home, and business insurance. At Encova, we're ready for what's next.
That's good field.
Six-year head coach Scott Cross talking with his Troy Trojans. 3 seasons of 20 or more wins in a row. And an overall head coaching record, 314 career wins. Did a great job at UT Arlington, where he was a standout player, and then spent time at TCU as an assistant, and comes to Troy, terrific coach.
Yeah, terrific coach, and he has the Troy program trending in the right direction. As you mentioned, they were picked 3rd in the preseason conference. They returned Rigsby, who was the freshman of the year last year, so they have some good young talent. He's building a good roster, and they should be very competitive here in the Sun Belt and challenge for the Sun Belt title.
Trojans with the basketball, coming in here 9-4, 2-0 in the Sun Belt, 3-3 on the road this season. Marshall dropped its Sun Belt opener to Southern Miss. Troy defeated Georgia State, and the shot from the outside, Rigsby knocks it through. Rigsby nails the three-pointer. 18 on the season, leads the team in that category. Also leads the team in blocks.
And that was a great possession there by Troy. They got the ball moving, good unselfishness, swing, swing, swing. To finally, they got it, passed up a good shot, got a great one for Rigsby in the corner, and he was knocking it down and maybe get him a little bit of traction here in this game.
So the foul going to be assessed to Valdez. That's his second in the contest. We showed Coach Scott Cross there a moment ago. And one of the keys to this season, what he did in the spring, just convincing guys to come back. And a lot of familiar faces returned, did not enter the portal.
And that's big in today's age. You have to re-recruit your guys after each year. Make sure you bring them back. It's not a 4-year commitment anymore. It's a 1 year. So after each season, you got to re-recruit your guys. He did an awesome job of making sure, he had some roster continuity, and he kept everybody where they needed to be.
Good defensive stop there by the Trojans. So now they look to carve into this Thundering Herd advantage. Thomas Dowd, 6'8", sophomore, number 1. Rigsby wants to dart in there, cut off by Mingo. Setting the feet, and the shot won't go there for Connerway. And Nate Martin. They got away from the Trojans. But a nice block there, and Marshall comes up empty. Here's Dowd. Dowd's a nice, lean-looking player. 6'8", sophomore. Grew up just down the road from Troy. That one spins out for Dowd. And the rebound by Anna Chili-Killen. And a foul going to be charged to Dowd.
And that's adding insult to injury there for Dowd. You made a nice move, got to your left hand, spun back, had a nice easy look, missed the chippy, and he compounded that error by picking up the foul 94 feet from the basket.
Nice job there again by Jackson Fields, racing back to block that shot. Martin, who was wide open. And Dowd had a big game against Marshall a season ago. 12 points, 13 rebounds. 19-13. Rigsby cut off there by Mingo. Shot on its way by Marcus Rigsby Jr. And his dribble is scooped up by Nate Martin. And a foul called on Marcus Rigsby Jr. It's going to be his second.
And sort of just like the last possession, Dowd missed the layup, then picked up the foul. There, Rigsby lost the ball, picked up the foul. 94 feet from the basket. You know, Marshall not in attacking position. And now for the rest of the half, any foul that Troy commits, Marshall will be going to the line to shoot free throws.
Jalen Spear, Mingo, and now back to Spear. Cornelius Jackson, the former point guard, says, run it. Mingo fighting through traffic. Martin has it, lost it, and into the hands of Jackson Fields. Trojans on the move. From outside, launching, unable to get it to go is Connerway, but another opportunity here for Troy.
And you'll notice there's been a shift, Mark, is now Troy's starting to get some of these offensive rebounds. They're really battling, hold their own on the glass, and they've been able to cut that lead from 10 down to 6. So the energy of this game sort of shifted a little bit.
And Marcus Rigsby Jr. called for the travel at the 7:55 mark here of this first half. And it's Marshall in the lead over the Trojans, 19-13. Thundering Herd yet to trail in this contest. Another look there at the call.
With the easy-to-wear Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor, tracking your glucose can be more affordable and personal. Now, more people pay $0 for the Freestyle Libre systems than other CGMs. This is progress. Try the #1 CGM in the U.S. for free today.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, so I saved hundreds. With the money I saved, I thought I'd get a wax figure of myself. Cool, right? Look at the craftsmanship. I mean, I even got my nostrils right. It's just nice to know, years after I'm gone, this guy will be standing the test of time. He's melting. Oh, geez. No. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Where can you kick off the new year with gig speed and big savings? Only with Xfinity. Get gig internet at home for $25 a month when you add Xfinity Mobile, which connects you to gig speed Wi-Fi on the road. Save more than $650 over AT&T and Verizon. Plus, hurry and get a free 5G phone. So save big and stay connected with gig speed internet and mobile. From home to hotspots, this new year, it's all about savings on gig speeds. Visit Xfinity.com/gig savings today.
Football fans know the biggest game of the year isn't really about the game. It's about the snacks. At ESPN, we snack on Sundays like it's our job.
Salami!
We even have snack mascots. Snack Scots. We show up for the game, but we're really here for the snacks. Except Orlovsky. He's got some strange food takes, but that's okay. More snacks for us. More snacks for us all.
Corny Jackson huddled up with his Thundering Herd of Marshall on top at the moment by a count of 19-13. First season as the head coach here, where he starred as a point guard for 3 seasons, started every game in his career, former player of the year in West Virginia. At Oak Hill High School, served under the great Dan D'Antoni, associate head coach prior to the 23-24 campaign. Also been a coach at West Virginia State, UT Martin, and Cleveland State. Marshall hasn't scored in over 3 minutes.
And that's allowed Troy to stay in this game. They're not shooting the ball well, only 1 for 6 from 3. but their defensive intensity and, holding Marshall scoreless has allowed them to cut into this lead and, get it back down to 6 and, back within, touching distance.
Ryan Nutter and Miles Rigsby colliding there. Nutter going to be hit with the foul. You look at Troy. Right now, a scoring drought of 3-13. Get everyone untangled here on the inbounds play. It will be Cooper Campbell to send it in.
And Ryan Nutter's just causing a little bit of chaos in there, wanting to get in between the two Troy players so he doesn't get screened. And the ref said, he's entitled to do that. So that's just what that little stoppage there was.
From the outside, the shot is good. Knocking it down is Connerway. His 11th three of the season, and makes it a 3-point game here at 19-16. And Nutter needing help, and quick hands there by Rigsby. And Miles Rigsby going to be charged with his second foul of the game.
Yeah, second foul, so now, he's probably going to have to spend some of the remainder of this half on the bench. But it also sends Marshall to the line. They haven't scored in almost 4 minutes. Now Nutter, with the clock stops, going to get a chance to step up and knock free throws down.
Ryan Nutter on the season, 75.9% free throw shooter, up and in. Coming in, averaging 5 a game, had 4 in the victory on Thursday night over Texas State. I was seeing double there yesterday on. I was watching Texas State in a bowl game against North Texas just hours after doing the game with you on Thursday night. North Texas and Texas State. That was quite a game there in that first responders bowl game, and North Texas got the victory. Marshall's basketball here after the Nutter miss.
And if you're Coach Cross, you can't be happy. That's twice already this half. Marshall's missed the second free throw and has been able to, get in there, get their hand on it, and go out of bounds. First one was Mike Dawson getting in there, knocking it off the Troy player. But that's just extra possessions you can't give up, especially on the road when you're trying to beat a team that's good at home like Marshall is. You got to do the little things right, and if you give Marshall extra opportunities, they're going to take advantage of them.
Theo Singh back in the game for the Trojans. Zane Mingo to Nate Martin. Martin will attack, and Martin will score off the glass. His first field goal of the game, averaging 9.7. A preseason first team all Sun Belt Conference selection.
And that's a welcome development for Herd fans. Nate's been struggling a little bit, but early on he got to the line, got one to go. Now you see he's made a nice, good move, scored. So that could be big for his confidence and for Marshall's confidence as a whole going forward.
Kate Gibbs coming away with the steal. Here's Martin. Sandwiched there by two Trojans, and going to be out on the Thundering Herd. Troy's basketball. Largest lead in the game has been 10 by Marshall. Marshall has led from the outset here in this sixth meeting all time between Troy and the Thundering Herd. Connerway with it. Now Fields gets it to Campbell. Campbell tried to negotiate in, and nice pass by Campbell. Time running down here, letting it fly, and Fields can't get it to fall. Marshall out of there with it. Mingo races across the 10-second line. Nate Martin with a little spin there, but going to be called for the travel.
And he's just pressing a little bit right now, Mark. He scored that first bucket. You know, you thought he was going to get going a little bit. Then Troy hit him with a tough double team on the last possession down low, forced him to turnover. You know, might have been a foul on Troy, but, you know, it wasn't called. And there, you're just going a little too fast, trying to do a little too much, and traveled. So he's just going to have to, you know, settle down and relax. He's a good player. He knows it. Quit pressing. Let the game come to him. Good things will start to happen for Nate Martin if he does that.
One common opponent for the Trojans and Thundering Herd, each facing off at Toledo. Troy knocked off the Rockets 84-74. Marshall dropped a tough one 90-80. Work it around, and here's Campbell dishing it off, and Sang, his shot hits the side of the iron, and Spear goes Domingo. Were you impressed there, Ron?
Nice quick hands there, Mark.
Yeah, I didn't get my hands on the ball though. Fan beat me to
but
it.
I saw those hands. You know, really, I didn't see those hands. That's how quick they were. But I saw you getting ready to try to attempt to catch it.
All right, Nate Martin going in and putting it through. 5 in the game for Martin, 24-16. Once a receiver, always a receiver, right?
Yeah, the hands never leave.
All right, Trojans with the basketball. One field goal, last 7 attempts. Rifling Sang, had a good look there. Just could not get it to go. He hails from Davis, California. Spear open. Spear's shot won't go. Dawson keeps it alive, goes back up and can't get it to fall. Nice job there by Dawson on the boards. Dawson coming in averaging 13.2, and then shot by Connerway. Won't fall for Troy. Marshall back on the offensive attack.
And Troy won't be dissuaded. That's 2 for 13 now from 3, but they're still chucking it. Even in this little bit of a drought, maybe Coach Cross draw something up. Try to get an easy one just to sort of break that lid on the basket and see if they can't get them going a little bit.
Marshall 1 of 5 from behind the three-point line. Here's Mingo, and then he'll fade back there in the paint. Martin tried to keep it alive for the Herd, but here come the Trojans now, down 8. And good defense by Marshall once again, denying Troy of a basket. Cade Gibbs hit the deck there. So a break in the action. It's Marshall on top by a count of 24-16. We return to the Cam Henderson Center in a moment.
A moment. A lot can happen in a moment. It could be fast-paced, or time can stand still. Up in the air, down in the trenches. High-tech, old school. High energy, low-key. Lend a hand. Learn to let go. Find your people and your purpose. We meet the moment. We are Marshall.
Ladies and gentlemen, the power of a word. The anticipation, the adrenaline, the hair on the back of their necks rising. The crowd, the score rising. Greatness rising, the sun rising. Sometimes a word is best left all by itself. The Sun Belt Conference, 14 universities, 10 states, rising.
Welcome back inside the Cam Henderson Center, where Marshall is on top of the Trojans of Troy. 3:35 remaining here in the first half. What's your thoughts here, Odd, as we wind this one down here for the first half?
Well, Marshall sort of controlled the pace of this game. Troy likes to get up and down. They score 75 points per game. They shoot a lot of threes. Marshall's done an excellent job. You've held them to 16 points. through 16 minutes. So they're only giving about a point a minute. That's excellent defense. So you just want to try to push this lead out a little bit more. If you're Coach Jackson playing the defense the way they are, you'd like this to be a 20-point game. It's still an 8-point game, but big 3:35 here to go. You want to try to get this out to 10, 12, 15, and you don't want Troy to get any closer for the half.
All right, it will be Mingo to trigger it in for the Thundering Herd, working out there with Nate Martin, Obina, Anachili Killen, Michael Dawson, and Jalen Spear. And Obina, Anachili Killen strokes it. He has 13 in the contest. Marshall with its second 10-point lead of the game. Trojans with Dayton Connerway on the floor, and Darius Jones has checked in, number 24, big body at 6'7". Thomas Dowd is out there. Dowd will fire. He can't get it to go. Victor Valdez into the contest, and Carrington Keel on the floor for the Trojans. And Keel will be called for the travel there.
And Troy's all out of sync. A couple turnovers in the last 3 possessions. They're going deep in the shot clock. That's not normally how they play. They like to go quick there. Passed up a couple shots, trying to get a good one. End up, tripping on the drive. So Troy's just all out of sync. You got to give a lot of credit to Marshall's defense.
Nate Martin gives way to Dezane Mingo. Mingo dashes in, pulls up, free throw line. And Dowd will come out of there with it for Troy. Dowd at 6'8". Connerway down on the baseline, working against Martin, in trouble, and kept it alive. Keel scooping, getting it to Jones, and Jones could not get the shot off in time and give it over to the Thundering Herd with 2:08 to go here in this first half.
Again, credit Marshall's defense. There's another possession. Troy's not even able to get a shot off. Force a shot clock turnover. Marshall's doing a good job, swarming, good help, good recovering, just making Troy make the extra pass, make the extra move. And unfortunately for Troy, that's, got them out of sync and kept them off the board here for a while.
Marshall 41% from the field, 33 for the Trojans. Nate Martin, ball loose, and give it back to Troy. Good football game in Troy a couple of years ago. Beautiful, beautiful campus. Beautiful arena. Look at 6th-year head coach Scott Cross. Really feels this team can be a contender in the Sun Belt. With all the fresh faces that he's familiar with.
And speaking on Troy's troubles on offense, they're 1 for their last 10 from the field. They've got 4 turnovers in the last 4 minutes, so just not a whole lot going right for Troy on the offensive end. But they can take solace in the fact they've played pretty good defense. And, it's only a 10-point game with only scoring 16 points so far. So they've stayed close enough where if they do get going, Marshall's going to have to watch out.
Something that folks have grown accustomed to here inside the Cam Henderson Center. Blocks by that guy.
No, he's everywhere. That's his 3rd block already this game, adding to his total. And there's another shot that Troy can't even get up. It's blocked. They don't even get a shot up on the basket.
Spear and Rigsby collide, and I believe they're going to get Spear for the personal. And that will be the first for Jalen Spear. Spear out of Gainesville, Florida A&M transfer. Connerway sending it in. Valdez. Moves it down, and here's Valdez. Valdez in trouble, gets it to Dowd.
And here's another possession. Troy's getting way late in the shot clock, and they just have to throw up a 35-footer. You know, unfortunately for Marshall, it banks in, but that's the type of defense that will win you ball games. Keep forcing Troy late in the shot clock, make them work, make them take tough, long, contested shots, and Marshall will be just fine as this game goes to the second half.
Well, the bank definitely open there for Miles Rigsby, his second three-pointer, third of the game for Troy. 26-19. Here is Dawson getting it to drop through his first basket of the game. Michael Dawson, the Huntington native, transfer from Akron, averaging 13.2 a contest. Trojans with time winding down here, and it's going to be an offensive foul against Troy.
And again, great defense by Marshall. Get up into him, make the screener feel like he has to lean a little bit, try to knock you off. Another turnover for Troy. Another good defensive possession by Marshall. Now they have a chance to go into, go into halftime, take this last shot, maybe push this thing up to 12, but should be no worse than 9.
A timeout here right before this first half comes to a close. Great atmosphere here inside the Cam Henderson Center, home of the Thundering Herd men's and women's basketball programs dating back to the early 80s. And Troy opened the season with that win over Toledo, knocked off New Orleans, and they fell to Arkansas, and Oregon beat West Georgia. UTSA lost to Merrimack, down EKU, fell at Houston 62-42, beat Middle Georgia State, LaGrange, Georgia State, and then App State. How about the non-conference competition for the Trojans, and three great coaches, John Calipari, Kelvin Sampson, Dana Altman. These guys, active coaches, top 5 wins.
Yeah, they really challenged themselves. But look here on this last possession, Marshall is sort of in this situation. They always try to do sort of a cross screen for a big, have one of their bigs come across to the post. So I look for them to try to feed it inside here.
Whip it around, Spear will let it go, and Spear will drain the three-pointer, and that is his second of the half. Marshall had just 2, and number 50 let both fly and knocks them down, and the Thundering Herd heading to the locker room with a 31-19 lead.
And that was a great last possession. Swung it around. Jalen Spears hit a couple already today. Able to knock that one in. So you got to be feeling really good right now if you're Marshall going the half up 12. A lot of momentum on your side.
Miles Rigsby there banking that shot in. Obina and Achillikillen has been strong with 13. Marshall leads it at the break, 31-19.
Enjoy.
Stuffed crust, buttery garlic spread. Little Caesars really stepped it up with their stuffed crazy crust.
They really jazzed it up. Yeah!
They really plussed this crust up.
They really dolled it up. Everyone out my house. How did y'all even get in here? The housekeeper gave me the key.
Order stuffed crazy crust for $9.49 and get your game day delivered with Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
You told Mom to send her prescription to Amazon Pharmacy. She didn't. Now you're stuck behind this guy, as he uses the pharmacy line to purchase half the store, including a ceramic dolphin figurine, without a price.
Price check in pharmacy.
All Mom had to do was use Amazon Pharmacy, and her meds would get delivered right to her door.
Yo, guys, you ready for the NFL playoffs? I got some ideas.
What you got, Chad?
High-stakes football needs a heightened experience. Weather in 4D.
And here comes the snow.
Feel the elements. Let's put cameras on every player. Hibachi vendors.
What do you want? Shrimp. Okay, wait up.
A third Kelsey brother. Pitcher in pitcher. In pitcher in pitcher.
I've been pitching that hibachi thing for years.
So you guys like my ideas?
No.
This is TGL presented by SoFi. 24 of the best players in the world, no, the universe, pitted against each other 3 versus 3. In a first-of-its-kind arena. More Tiger, more Rory, more everybody. Hey, 6 teams, Atlanta, Boston, LA, New York, the Bay, and Jupiter.
Not that Jupiter.
What else? We added shot clocks, mic'd up players, a ref, playoffs, 15 holes, overtime, timeouts. Did we mention the green moves? High tech, higher stakes, and you get to watch it all on ESPN, baby. Keep up. It's golf.
For the love of football, derbies, ultras and Humba, and every match on ESPN+.
Nothing like in the Bundesliga.
For the love of braces and hat-tricks.
With a belter!
Belters and wonder goals.
Oh, that's a wonder goal!
Number 9s and the Torschützenkönig. For the love of the Invincibles.
Leverkusen, unbeaten champions.
For the love of Bundesliga. Exclusively on ESPN+.
Back inside the Cam Henderson Center here on this first Saturday in the new year of 2025. The Thundering Herd of Marshall entertaining the Trojans from Troy, Alabama in a Sun Belt Conference showdown. And Marshall with the lead at 31-19. I'm with former Herd standout Odd Elmore, our great ESPN Plus crew, and Mark Martin. Delighted to have you with us. Well, Courtney Jackson said prior to the season, wanted to create energy with the defense. I think they've done that here.
Yeah, you held a team to 19 points. That's less than a point per minute. You forced 12 turnovers from Troy, only 6 assists. This is the second time in a row at halftime that we've came on here, and the other teams had half as many assists as they've had turnovers. That means you're being disruptive and playing really good defense.
This game here, very important, as they all are now with Sun Belt Conference plays. Look at the standings at the moment. Early on in this season, but there's Troy at 2-0, along with Arkansas State, South Alabama, and the Raging Cajuns from Louisiana, and then Georgia Southern, JMU, Texas State, who we saw Thursday night, Marshall, Southern Miss, Old Dominion, all with 1 victory and 1 loss, in Coastal Appalachian State, Georgia State, and ULM still in search of that first league victory of the campaign.
And this is why this is a big game for Marshall. Troy's 2-0, Marshall's 1-1. You see there's a lot of it's packed right there at that 1-1 range. Get this win, go to 2-1. Then you have 2 games at home next week. So potentially in a week from now, you could be 4-1, sitting pretty in the conference standings, and then you're just gonna have to get done on the road. But then you at least give yourself a shot.
Well, some scores here: Texas State and App State battling, 1-point game. Georgia Southern on top of South Alabama by 2. Southern Miss and ODU, all tight games here on this Saturday.
Yeah, and that sort of reflects the standings. Is a lot of 1-1 teams, a lot of teams. This is going to be a league that at the top is not that different from the bottom in terms of talent. It's a very competitive, very good basketball league. So you should see a lot of competitive games. It's going to be a battle throughout the Sun Belt play.
This contest here featuring the first 2 Sun Belt Conference recipients of the Player of the Week award. Jackson Fields from Troy won it back on November 12th, and Nate Martin of Marshall was honored on November 19th. Marshall has led from the outset, and it's a 31-19 game here at the break. Obina and Achille-Killen leading the way for Marshall with 13. He is the only player in double figures at the moment. So we break away. Youngsters out on the floor at the Cam Henderson Center, enjoying shooting at the mini hoops. We'll come back in a moment on ESPN Plus.
These are my teeth. A few overlap.
Others are straight, crooked, and capped.
Oral-B Electric cleans better with one simple touch.
No matter what kind of teeth, you gotta brush.
Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head hugs them, cleans them, gets in between, going where regular brushes don't reach, so teeth get 100% better clean. These are my teeth, the key to my look.
And here's how I perfectly clean every nook.
Your perfect clean starts with Oral-B.
It's time to get in the game and sign up to ESPN Plus. Hey, college basketball fans.
Andrea Carter here.
Jay Billis here.
To remind you that your favorite teams and conferences
Are on ESPN Plus.
If you love college basketball like me and the Bill Illustrator,
Then it's time to get in the game and sign up to ESPN Plus.
you get a stellar slate of in-conference games
Including the Big 12, Atlantic 10, and many more.
that will feel like March.
We got to go to work.
Sign up now and catch your favorite teams.
Yo, guys, you ready for the NFL playoffs? I got some ideas.
What you got, Chad?
High-stakes football needs a heightened experience. Weather in 4D.
And here comes the snow.
Feel the elements. Let's put cameras on every player. Hibachi vendors.
What do you want? Shrimp. Okay, wait up.
A third Kelsey brother.
Pitcher in pitcher. In pitcher in pitcher. I've been pitching that hibachi thing for years.
So you guys like my ideas?
No.
For the love of football, derbies, ultras, and Humba. And every match on ESPN Plus.
Nothing like in the Bundesliga.
For the love of braces and hat-tricks.
With a belter.
Belters and wonder goals.
Oh, that's a wonder goal.
Number 9s and the Torschützenkönig. For the love of the Invincibles.
Leverkusen, unbeaten champions.
For the love of Bundesliga. Exclusively on ESPN Plus.
This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster.
I take the first shot, you keep it coming. We know a lot about turning nothing to something.
He is must-see television every time he puts that uniform on. College basketball, it never disappoints. Oh!
How fun is this?
The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000 plus out-of-market games and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
Back here with Elmore, Mark Martin. Let's check out some of the scenes from this first half of action. Marshall on top of the Trojans of Troy, 31-19. Again, Marshall, as they did against Texas State, the lead, and it's one they have not relinquished here in this first half of action. A lot of outstanding play by both the Thundering Herd and the Trojans. Marshall very active right there with Obina and Achille Killen getting started.
Yeah, you'll see there's a lot of points being scored in the paint. Marshall scored 18 points in the paint. That's almost more than Troy has scored as a whole ball club. We mentioned earlier, rebounding. Marshall has 7 offensive rebounds for 10 second chance points. So that's what you'll see a lot in this highlight is Marshall getting it inside, putting it up on the glass, either finishing or getting their offensive rebound and finishing it that way.
Nate Martin with 5 in the first half, and Jalen Spear has both 3-pointers for the Thundering Herd and finished that first half with 8, knocked that one down right before the half came to a close. Good defense there, and Achille Killen for Marshall with a couple of blocked shots. Ryan Nutter called for the foul there for the Thundering Herd, and here's Dowd with a nice pass there. Thomas Dowd down low. A little scoop shot that will go for Victor Valdez. And the leading scorer for this Trojan team, Miles Rigsby, scoring, and then a foul there on Nate Martin.
Yeah, but all in all, for Marshall, great half defensively. We're showing highlights, but those aren't just highlights. Those are really all the buckets Troy scored. You held them to 19 points for an entire half. That's really good, sitting in a stance and getting it done on the defensive end.
Tate and Connerway got that shot for the quarter, and then the bank was open there for Miles Rigsby. Marshall on top here at the break, 31-19. We return to the Cam Henderson Center in a moment.
You mastered your mind. And all the while, you were on the train home. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
The 2025 NCAA FCS Championship game, Monday on ESPN.
Au revoir, mon amour. I'll be en tow.
Let's work on that French, shall we?
Au revoir, mon amour. I'll be in tow.
Au revoir, mon amour. A bientôt.
You ready for the NFL playoffs?
What you got, Chad?
Let's put cameras on every player. Weather in 4D. Hibachi vendors.
What do you want? Shrimp. Okay, wait up.
So you guys like my ideas?
No.
This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster.
This is star power from the jump. The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
This is TGL presented by SoFi. 24 of the best players in the world. No, the universe. Pitted against each other 3 versus 3. 6 teams in a first-of-its-kind arena. We added shot clocks, mic'd up players, playoffs, overtime, and you get to watch it all on ESPN, baby. Keep up. It's golf.
Hey, college basketball fans.
Your favorite teams and conferences
Are on ESPN Plus,
You get a stellar slate of in-conference games.
including the Big 12, Atlantic 10, and many more.
Sign up now and catch your favorite teams.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000 plus out-of-market games, exclusive matchups, marquee NHL events, and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000 plus out-of-market games, and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
It's time to get in the game and sign up to ESPN Plus.
To the end zone for the touchdown.
Oh my goodness.
Tap into an entire world of sports. ESPN. You could just watch ESPN, but why not tap in? Tap into peak fandom. Tap into who's hot, who's who, and who's got the takes. Tap into fast friends. Tap into the thing that becomes your thing, that becomes everything. Tap into an entire world of sports.
Both teams have returned to the floor here at the Cam Henderson Center, getting set for second half action with Todd Elmore and Mark Martin, our great ESPN Plus crew. And time for our first half stats presented by University. Ford jumps out at you, my man.
Well, first, I mentioned earlier the assist turnover. Marshall has a positive assist turnover ratio, whereas Troy, 6 assists, 12 turnovers. That's not going to get it done, against anybody. Points in the paint, big advantage Marshall, 18-10. So all in all, great first half by Marshall. You didn't play a good offensive half by any stretch of imagination, and you still have a 12-point lead. That just speaks volumes to how they've been playing defense tonight.
And again, individual scoring. Obina and Achille Killen, the only player in double figures, leading the way for the Thundering Herd with 13. Jalen Spear with 8. Nate Martin with 5. Michael Dawson, Zane Mingo, each with 2. Ryan Nutter had a free throw for the Troy Trojans. Leading scorer Miles Rigsby paces the offensive attack with 8. And Conaway has 5. And then you have 2 from Jackson Fields, Gerald Bellamy, and Victor Valdez.
And this is a big first possession here for Marshall. You score here, you get this to a 14, 15-point lead, and you start feeling a lot better. Whereas if you're Troy, you get a stop, you go score, and you get this to 10 or single digits, then they start to feel like they have a chance. So if you're Marshall, big thing they need to learn how to do is to put their foot down on the gas and run away from some of these teams. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do that here.
Here is Spear and finding Achille Killen and picking up where he left off in the first half. And Marshall on top at 33-19. Marshall goes with Achille Killen, Jalen Spear, Zane Mingo, Nate Martin, and Michael Dawson to get things started in this second half. Trojans out there working with Tatum Conaway. Conaway rifles in his second three-pointer of the game. Now has 8 for the contest. He's joined by Jackson Fields.
And Connerway's been the one guy for Troy that's really shot the ball okay. He's 3 for 6 from the field now. So look for them to try to find Connerway more and get him more involved in the offense.
The Rigsby brothers in Miles and Marcus Jr. out there on the floor for the Trojans. Thomas Dowd in that starting 5. Here's Dowd. He'll let it fly, and Dowd can't get it to go. And Chili Killen tracks down the missed shot. Nate Martin out top with it. Guarded there by Jackson Fields. And going to have a foul called. And they'll tag Marcus Rigsby Jr. with it. That will be his 3rd.
And now Coach Cross has a decision to make. Do you pull him out, try to, save him from himself to keep him out of foul trouble, or do you let him keep playing through with the foul trouble?
Nate Martin working hard there, and it will be Marcus Rigsby Jr. getting the missed shot. Here's Tayton Connerway. Connerway will set up looking for another 3 and nails it. Connerway has 3 from behind the 3-point line in this game. Came into the game with 10, and then a big play there. Rigsby Jr. puts it through.
And if you're Marshall, you got to watch out. You came out of the half, you scored, you pushed it to 14. All of a sudden, they've made an 8-0 run, and now it's a 6-point game. So really got to take care of ball, value possessions, and, lock back in.
33-27, Tayton Connerway coming off that big game against App State, and he buries a couple of threes here early on, and it is a 33-27 Herd lead. Back in a moment to the Cam Henderson Center.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
Did you know your new favorite burger has hand-smashed patties made to order, hot and melty cheese, and a tangy sauce? How rude of me. Let me introduce you. Try the all-new Double Sonic Smasher and at a half-price drink in the app.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
As a kid, I fell in love with basketball. But early in my career, my world began to close in. It was my first migraine, and it hit hard. I had to dig deep and remember, you don't face challenges alone. By seeking help, I stopped migraine from stopping me. Because true support is knowing someone's got your back. Talk to a doctor about migraine today at PfizerForAll.com.
This is a classic got up too fast from tying your shoes back injury. Not to be confused with the you threw your back out sneezing back injury. Lucky for you, an Amazon One medical provider can help. And if it comes down to needing meds, Amazon Pharmacy will deliver them to your door. Of course, you have to get to the door.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check the weather first before sailing.
It's gonna get nasty later.
Yep.
Hey, perfect day for sailing, huh? Have fun on land.
I'll go tell the Coast Guard.
Yep.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The Troy Trojans have cut into that Thundering Herd lead, and at the moment, 6-point deficit here. Tayton Connerway, a big reason why. He's knocked down 2 threes.
And Troy's the type of team you have to, this is a danger zone. They shoot a lot of threes. So if they start hitting a couple of threes, it can avalanche and spiral on you. So Marshall really has to take a good possession here, get a good shot, get a good score, and then set up your defense and really lock back in there. Because if Troy hits another one, you could watch out because it could get dangerous for Marshall in a hurry.
Zane Mingo Out front for the Thundering Herd, Mingo whips it over to Dawson. Michael Dawson down the lane, and ball is loose, out of bounds. In fact, we're going to have a foul called on the Trojans. The Rigsby brothers each with 3 for Troy.
And that's big because they have a 3-headed monster at guard, the 2 Rigsby brothers and Connor Way. So both the Rigsby brothers with 2 or 3 fouls, so they're in foul trouble. They're going to have to be careful. Let's see if Marshall can try to get those guys in actions and, take advantage of the fact they're not going to want to get any more fouls.
Michael Dawson, 84% free throw shooter. And he will knock down both. Coming back home to play his final season of collegiate basketball. Spent time in the program at Akron. Great addition. According to head coach Corney Jackson, came into this game 13.2 average. Here's Dow letting it fly. I like Dowd's release of the basketball. Just couldn't get rewarded there, but a foul is going to be called on Marshall, and that's Spear picking up his second.
And Dow's not going to be deterred. He was 0 for 3 from 3 in the first half, 0 for 4 overall. He's already got a couple 3-point attempts up. So just because he hasn't made one doesn't mean you can't guard him, because he's going to keep firing, and he's a guy that's capable of knocking down shots.
Penetrating, scooping, scoring. Rigsby Jr., Marcus Rigsby Jr.
And that's why Coach Cross has left the Rigsby brothers out there. They bring so much scoring punch. They bring so much athleticism to his team. You can't have those guys on the bench. You just got to let them play through foul trouble and see if they can't bring you back in this game.
7 of 11 on the season from the free throw line. Miles Rigsby will head out and back in Carrington Keel. 6'6", 185-pound redshirt freshman from Birmingham, and it's a 3-point play for Marcus Rigsby Jr. He'll also head out, and Cooper Campbell, the 6'2" freshman out of the state of Washington, is back into the game. Here's Dawson looking for a 3, can't get it to go. And we're going to have a whistle off the miss by Dawson.
And if you're Marshall, you have to win these minutes. Both Rigsby's brothers are now on the bench for Troy. It's a 5-point game. If Troy, with their backups in, is able to, stay connected and keep this a 5-point game or cutting the lead, then you're going to be in trouble going down the stretch. So big minutes here for Marshall.
Dayton Connerway hit with the foul. Here's Spear in trouble, and midair gets it over to Mingo. Now Dawson looking for a 3 again. And once more, just could not get it to go down. A good look by Dawson. Campbell works it and gets it into the hands of Keel.
I hate to say it, Mark, but my player of the game, again, is the kiss of death. Mike Dawson hasn't missed an open jumper in about 3 weeks. And as soon as I make him player of the game, he's struggling.
Shot from the outside. In and out there for Fields. And Chili Killen collects it for the Thundering Herd. Mingo across the timeline. Conaway slapping at it. Dawson feeding Nate Martin. He's double teamed there. Takeaway by the Trojans.
And if you notice, Troy, every time Nate Martin catches in the post, they're running a double team at him, and Nate struggled with it. 5 turnovers. That's something the coaches are going to have to work with him on, because out of the short roll, he's an excellent passer. They just need to put him in more positions, playing against that double team, so he gets comfortable with that, because that's still something new that's come up the last couple of games.
And I was about to say, as Cooper Campbell got the ball in his hands, he's the team's best shooter. And he shows it right there. He makes this a 2-point game. Here's Mingo with the step, and Mingo will put it through. And there is a whistle and a foul. Zane Mingo hits the floor, but gets it to go. He has 4 in the game. A 37-33 Thundering Herd advantage. They'll talk it over. We return in a moment to Huntington.
says that business isn't personal, that what we do should be separate from who we are. At Encova Insurance, we do things differently.
My dad knew that one.
Our agents partner with small businesses to get to the heart of what matters. Because we're in the peace of mind business, and we take that very personally with auto, home, and business insurance. At Encova, we're ready for what's next.
Ladies and gentlemen, the power of a word. The anticipation, the adrenaline, the hair on the back of their necks rising. The crowd, the score rising. Greatness rising, the sun rising. Sometimes a word is best left all by itself. The Sun Belt Conference, 14 universities, 10 states, rising.
Well, when you talk about Obina and Achille-Killen to head coach Courtney Jackson, he usually just says, Obina is Obina.
Yeah, high motor guy, athletic. He's developed a lot, to his offensive game. He came in a very raw product out of Chapmanville, good athlete, great shot blocker, has really turned into a great player for the Herd. And he's been big on both ends of the floor here for Marshall tonight.
And there is Obina and Achille-Killen. 5th season in a Thundering Herd uniform. So big for first-year head coach Courtney Jackson, for both he and Nate Martin to return. Zane Mingo now looking to convert the three-point play. Fouled there before the timeout. Gets it to go. Mingo with 5 in the game.
And that was a big bucket for Mingo. It broke a 12-0 run by Troy, cut a 14-point lead down to 2. Now you get the lead back out to 5, and you feel a little bit more comfortable here.
Jacob Gibb back into the game. Gibbs replacing Michael Dawson. Ball loose. Dowd picks it up. Dowd gets it to the team's top scorer, Miles Rigsby, and Rigsby could not get it to fall. Cade Gibbs getting set to head in for the Thundering Herd. There is Cade Gibbs, and Nate Martin will check out. Cade Gibbs averaging 4.3 a game, season high 11 against Wright State. Nate Martin taking a break.
And that was a good reset that time out there, right there by Coach Jackson. You'd been struggling a little bit off on defensively. There you talked it over, came out, you forced a shot clock violation, and you sort of slowed Troy down a little bit.
Well, and then Marshall missing a golden opportunity there. And on the other end, a foul is going to be called. And the 2-on-1 on the other end, and squandered the opportunity.
And you're trying to knock off a team that's 2-0 in conference play. The team picked 3rd in the whole conference, so you can't give away those easy ones. You get a 2-on-1, especially at this level of college basketball, that has to be an automatic 2.
So here come the Trojans, and there is Connerway getting it to go through. Connerway now with 8 points here in the second half and has 13 for the game.
And that's a 4-point swing, Mark. 2 points you should have had on one end turns into 2 points for the other team. So that's a 4-point play just in one possession. And now you turn it over. Troy has the ball down one possession, and now you're in a dogfight.
So Troy will have Miles and Marcus Rigsby are back into the game. Sang has checked in. They're joined out there by Connerway and Gerald Bellamy. This is Marcus Rigsby Jr. attacking, spinning, turning, falling down, and fouled on the shot, and that's going to be a third personal foul assessed to that gentleman, Jalen Spear.
Yeah, and Jalen's been the one guy that's consistently knocked the three ball down for you here tonight. So now Coach Jackson's got a decision to make. Does he leave him in with three? Does he take him out? But as you see, Troy's starting to get more comfortable on the offensive end. 19 points through the first 20 minutes of the game. Through the first 6:08 here in the second half, they already have 17. So in 6 minutes, they've almost already matched their first half total. So if you're Marshall, you got to find a way to break the ice on offense, get a bucket, but more importantly, you got to lock back in on defense and try to slow this Troy team down.
Victor Valdez back into the game. Miles Rigsby checking out Marcus Rigsby there, missing that second free throw. 2-point game here between Marshall and Troy. Spear works out front, wheels around, gets it into the hands of Jacob Gibbs, who then delivers to his brother Cade, who is fouled.
And Cade did a good job there, catching and ripping. He didn't even look for the shot. He realized Troy was in rotation, caught the ball. He did it so well last game against Texas State. Same thing there. Caught the ball, ripped it, drew the foul. He's an excellent driver, and he does a good job of swinging and playing out against the closeout.
Ryan Nutter, who's back in the game for the Herd, triggers it in. Spear in trouble. Campbell is back into the game for Troy. Spear can't get it to go, and Campbell with a huge rebound there. He replaced Marcus Rigsby Jr. Here's Valdez. Valdez, one-hander, couldn't get it to go, and Troy will knock it out of bounds. I believe Spear may have got poked in the eye. Rubina and Chili Killen will head out for Marshall. Nate Martin is back in.
And if I'm Marshall, I'm going to Nate Martin right here. You got to get him going. He's got 5 points. He's got a size advantage in the post. Run a pick and roll, get a switch, let him try to get going, because you need somebody that's going to be able to step up and carry this team. And he's the guy you should be leaning into.
Down low into the hands here of Jacob Gibbs. And foul going to be called on Troy.
And it's important to note, Mark, that's the 6th foul. So now Marshall, for the last 13 minutes of this game, is going to be shooting free throws on Troy fouls. So you get ultra aggressive here. You drive to the basket. You create contact. You try to force the ref to make calls, because if you get one, you're going to the free throw line, and it's easy to score from the free throw line with nobody guarding you.
Connerway now has 2 fouls. Here's Ryan Nutter, thought about a 3 and steps in, kicks it to Spear. His 3 won't go, and Nutter with the rebound. Nutter goes back up and couldn't get it to fall through. Good job there in a variety of ways, though, by Nutter on that offensive set, but they just could not produce points. And now here's Troy looking to tie it, maybe take the lead for the first time in this late afternoon game. Sang goes to Valdez, and Valdez off the glass and scores it, and he's fouled.
And Valdez tried to do that last possession. He's a big kid, wide body, strong guy, dribbled in, put his head down, just got right into Jacob Gibbs' chest, went through it, finished, got the foul for the and one. Now, if you're Marshall, this is danger time. You've blown a 14-point lead. Troy's starting to get going. You're struggling on the offense end. This is where you need somebody to step up and, get you going.
And at the 12:05 mark of this second half, Troy leads for the first time in a basketball game. First time that Marshall has trailed in its last 2 games, Odd.
Yeah, that's an impressive stretch of basketball, leading from start to finish in these games. But now you're going to have to figure out, how do you respond? And
there you go.
Yeah, give it to Ryan Nutter, let him go to work. I guess that's the answer. If you had that on your bingo card, congratulations, you just hit it.
A great job by Nate Martin. He was on the floor and just got it to his teammates. So now Marshall back in front. First field goal of the game for Nutter. Had a free throw in that first half of action. Connerway, who's been impressive, driving in and knocked away there by Jacob Gibbs. Well, a slugfest here now between Marshall and Troy. A timeout taking place here at the Cam Henderson Center. Scott Cross, sixth-year head coach of the Troy Trojans. Ryan Nutter has Marshall back in front at the moment here at the Cam.
With Stitch Fix, so easy. How cute are these? Having a personal stylist makes my life so much easier. You select sizing, your style. I get to set my own budget. Free shipping and returns. There is no subscription required.
I feel like I'm understood, I'm seen, my stylist gets me.
Items will flatter your body type. I'm obsessed.
I look good, I feel confident, and that's all with the help of Stitch Fix.
I love that.
Stitch Fix, online personal styling for everyone.
You know, most people quit their New Year's resolutions by the second Friday in January. It's called Quitter's Day. Look it up. But what if we didn't quit right after starting? Or because it's raining or something? What if we had some extra motivation? This year, what if a little bit of help on our wrists
Goal achieved
could help us quit quitting?
To the end zone for the touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, college basketball fans.
Andrea Carter here
Jay Billis here.
to remind you that your favorite teams and conferences
Are on ESPN Plus.
If you love college basketball like me and the Billustrator,
Then it's time to get in the game and sign up to ESPN Plus.
you get a stellar slate of in-conference games
Including the Big 12, Atlantic 10, and many more.
that will feel like March.
We got to go to work.
Sign up now and catch your favorite teams.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000 plus out-of-market games and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
It's time to get in the game and sign up to ESPN Plus.
First Saturday afternoon in the new year, 2025, here in Huntington, West Virginia, the Cam Henderson Center, really beautiful campus of Marshall University. Great to have you with us, along with Aunt Elmore, our wonderful crew, and Mark Martin, and we bring you Sun Belt Conference basketball action on ESPN Plus. It's 40-39, Aunt. I don't think we're going to catch the 258-141 game that Troy was involved in on January 12th, 1992, when they beat DeVry.
No, I think you could play this game 5 times over and we wouldn't get there.
Wow.
I would like to see the defense and, or I guess the offense, how that game unfolded.
They combined to score at least 1 point every 6 seconds in that game. Troy had 28 slam dunks. And here's the one that really jumped out at me. I mean, you could go on for days about that game. DeVry did not attempt a free throw.
141 points without scoring a free throw is pretty impressive, you know, in your own right. You tell me we're scoring 141 points, I don't figure we're going to lose by 117.
A tough tumble there as Rigsby took the pass, and Nutter going to be charged with the foul.
I'll tell you what, Mark, we gave this game the kiss of death. At the break, we were talking about how quick it was going by. Now we look up 3 fouls in 5 seconds, and both teams are in the bonus the rest of the way.
Wouldn't be easy, though, to score 141 in a game and lose the contest. That would be a tough one to swallow.
Not just lose, but lose by triple digits.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't know which one's more impressive, scoring 258 or scoring 141 and losing by 100-some.
Jarrell Bellamy, 6'9" junior, called for the foul for the Troy Trojans. Got it by that gentleman, Scott Cross, 6th season, 89 and 80.
And if you're Coach Cross, you can't be a fan of that foul. Fouling Nate Martin out of half court. They're in the bonus. You give them a chance to go to the line. not only for Marshall to score, but maybe build his confidence a little bit. So you don't want to foul right there. It's just unnecessary.
Nate Martin at the free throw line and will toss it in. Joe Bellamy heads out. So Troy right now with Valdez, Jackson Fields, Theo Sang. Tayton Connerway and Miles Rigsby. Those are the 5 on the floor for the Trojan. Marshall countering with Jalen Spear, Jacob Gibbs, Nate Martin, Obina, Anna Chillikillen, and Ryan Nutter. 41-29 game. And a foul going to be called here on Jackson Fields.
And that's just 2 bad decisions in a row by Troy's big men. First, you had the foul, and then now you have the moving screen. You're getting back in this game. You can't give Marshall, these opportunities.
Here is Nutter knocking down the three-pointer.
And Troy making the decision. They weren't going to guard Ryan Nutter. They're just going to make him shoot it. And Ryan Nutter stepped in confidently, knocked it down, and now he's giving Marshall a 5-point lead.
And Nutter has 5 here in the second half, and they've been huge. And for Nutter, that's his 6th 3 of the season. 44-39. Connerway on the move, baseline, and will put it through.
Connerway's looked really impressive here tonight, Mark. He's been playing with confidence. He's been shooting it well. He's been finishing at the rim. Look for Troy to go to him more down the stretch.
Connerway coming in as the Sun Belt Conference's steals leader. Almost another 3 there. Here's Gibbs up and in. Jacob Gibbs with his first basket as he collects the miss by Nutter and puts it in. 46-41. Crowd into it here inside the Henderson Center. Troy and Marshall battle it out in Sun Belt play. Dang off the miss there by Connerway. Valdez feeds Fields with a beautiful play there. Jackson Fields will put it in. He's got 4 in the game, and Marshall on top by a 46-43 count. Nice little pass there to Jackson Fields. Player of the weekend, the Sun Belt Conference, November 12th.
In this game, Mark, it got real tight, and there's been some unusual suspects for Marshall stepping up. Ryan Nutter started it down by 1, got a nice finish. Then, Jacob Gibbs, you saw a second ago with the rebound putback. Ryan Nutter stepped in, knocked the 3 down. So it's not the usual suspects for Marshall stepping up here once this game's got tight. And that's a sign of a good team and good depth when, you have guys you may not rely on who will step up and, make big plays.
This Troy team coming in with Miles Rigsby, who was the freshman of the year in the Sun Belt a season ago. Connerway, we talked about him just a moment ago, how impressive he's been. He was the 6th man of the year in the conference. Marshall on top by 3. Ryan Nutter knocking down a big 3 a moment ago. Gets it to Nate Martin, where they have sworn Martin today. That's what you expect when you are a preseason all-conference performer who just kind of kept at it there. And now a whistle as Martin scored.
And he got the technical for just chirping with the Texas State player. And you felt this boiling over. Nate's been frustrated all game. He's been frustrated this last stretch of basketball. It's not up to his standards. He got the offensive rebound put back to go and, just release some of that frustration. Unfortunately, it's a technical foul. You're going to give Troy a chance to get 2 free throws and sort of just undo the good play that he just made.
Well, Valdez is the best free throw shooter on the team, percentage-wise at 83. Hit one a moment ago, which gave Troy its first lead of the game, and pretty as you please with that one.
Yeah, that's a nice looking stroke. There's no question about that ball. It's coming off his hand, and that's going in. And what's big is, you just scored. If you're Nate, got it to a 5-point game, gave it right back. Now it's Troy's ball. So basically the possession almost ended in a turnover if you're Marshall. So hopefully, maybe he's fired up. That gets him going, gives him a little extra juice the rest of this game. But not a very smart play, for the moment.
And Nate Martin has 2 fouls in the game now. Well, Nutter lost his shoe, and Miles Rigsby goes in, and he is fouled. And that will be on Nutter. That's his 3rd.
I never understand how guys come out of their shoes, but you see he was just a little bit late going over there because he slipped and came out of his shoe. Allowed Rigsby to get a little break contact with him. Rigsby got it, went straight to his chest. Nutter, late getting over there, fouled him. So Rigsby, chance to go to the line, cut this to a 1-point game.
So Corny Jackson looking on intently. Largest lead of the game, 14 for Marshall. Troy had the lead for a brief moment as Miles Rigsby will put it in, his first free throw in the contest. Scott Cross, his son Austin is a redshirt freshman on this team, one of 3 sons for Coach Cross.
And you'll notice Coach Cross playing offense, defense with the Rigsby brothers, getting them out when he's getting ready to start on the defense possession. He'll put them back in once they're, Troy's on offense. Just trying to steal some minutes here, keep them both with 3 fouls going down the stretch. Make sure, neither of them picks up their 4th and are in jeopardy of being disqualified.
Thomas Dowd, number 1, Cooper Campbell, number 3, are into the game for the Trojans. Jacob Gibbs goes to Nutter. Nutter only to drive baseline, cut off, in trouble, and hit the referee who was standing out of bounds. Eric Lowe took that shot there.
Yes, and good call by the ref. Unfortunately, if you're Marshall, if the ref's ain't out of bounds, he's considered out of bounds. So, but if you're Nutter, you got to be a better job of taking care of the ball. Got to be stronger. Yes, they doubled you, but you don't panic. He threw a hand grenade right past Spears and it went out of bounds. Troy's really picked up the pressure on the defense end, and Marshall's going to have to do a better job of handling that pressure.
Pass to Fields, knocked away by the Herd. Jalen Spear in the front court for the Thundering Herd. Jacob Gibbs on the move, and Gibbs, nice play by Jacob Gibbs, who has 4 in the game. He and his brother Cade coming to Marshall out of Grace College, where they were part of a great NAIA program, and Marshall leads it by 3. Oh, what a pretty move.
Yeah, and Jacob Gibbs has been growing in confidence. He had a couple really good moves last game against Texas State. He's came in this game, played really well so far. It's nice to see him being confident and being aggressive.
Ryan Nutter, Nutter makes the great defensive play, but just could not hang on to the basketball, and it will be Troy's ball. But first, we have a break here in Huntington. Marshall and Troy, 3rd respective Sun Belt Conference game of the season for both teams. Jacob Gibbs with 4 points. Marshall on top by 3 at the moment.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
We topped off the new Sonic Smasher you love with our creamy queso. With hand-smashed patties made to order, it's a cheesy love letter to your taste buds, and they're about to get real emotional. The new Double Sonic Queso Smasher, part of our Smasher lineup.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
As a kid, I fell in love with basketball. But early in my career, my world began to close in. It was my first migraine, and it hit hard. I had to dig deep and remember, you don't face challenges alone. By seeking help, I stopped migraine from stopping me. Because true support is knowing someone's got your back. Talk to a doctor about migraine today at PfizerForAll.com.
And Doug.
You'll be back! Emus can't help people customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. You're just a flightless bird.
No, he's a dreamer, Frank.
And Doug.
Well, I'll be. That bird really did it.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You found a place of complete focus. You ordered your thoughts and mastered your mind. And all the while, you were on the train home. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
The Troy Trojans 9-4 on the season, looking to become the first Sun Belt Conference team to win 10 or more in the last 4 seasons, 13-5 in Sun Belt play a year ago. Here's what they've got coming up. Texas State, Arkansas State back at home before back on the road.
And this is why it's a big game for them. You're 2-0. You have a chance to go to 3-0. You played 2 of those games on the road. You're going home for 2 games that are winnable against ULM and South Alabama, teams, bottom half of the Sun Belt. So you win this, you win those 2, you're 5-0, and now you have a real chance at a regular season Sun Belt title.
Like one of the mottos he has, take the stairs, no shortcuts.
Well, they sure weren't giving themselves a shortcut getting down 14 in the second half, but they fought back up the stairs, I guess, and made this a ball game.
Well, he missed Campbell and gets another try at it, and they'll get yet another opportunity, and it will be Dowd, no foul. A collision. And here comes Gibbs down the floor and scores.
And that was a lot of contact on the Dowd. Dowd finished. Troy's bench wanted a foul, but great job by Gibbs playing through it. Got the ball, pushed it, went and finished the layup.
Jacob Gibbs has 6 down, missing the shot. How about Campbell going in there and getting the rebound? And you got to watch out for that guy. Tatum Connerway just guns it in. That's his 4th 3 at 4 against App State. Coming into this contest with Marshall, 52-50, number 50, Jalen Spear across the timeline for the Thundering Herd.
And Connerway's really kept this Troy team in it. They've not shot the ball well from 3, which is their calling card. He's got 18. He's been the one player to consistently knock it down, and he's got them down 2 here.
And he has game-high scoring honors at the moment, and Martin will be fouled there. And it will be Connerway committing his 3rd foul. So Scott Cross with the Rigsby brothers, each with 3. Connerway with 3. Connerway will head out.
And you can't imagine Coach Cross is going to leave Connerway over there too long. Probably just give him just a quick minute or 2 break here and get him, refreshed for the final push.
Miles Rigsby in the game now, and Nate Martin could not hit the free throw there. Marshall from the stripe, 7 of 11. Troy, 7 of 9. Rigsby penetrates on the baseline. In trouble, gets it to Dowd. Somebody got a piece of that one, being who else? Anachili Killen. Nutter collects the partially blocked shot.
And you got to admire Dowd keeping trying. He's now 0 for 8. I think if you're Coach Cross, you say, hey, just swing the ball and let's see if we can't get you a layup or something before we shoot it again.
Marshall gives it right back. And here is Valdez. His shot won't go. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Marshall's basketball. Marshall with 13 turnovers in the game. Troy has 15. Mingo is in. Nutter is out. Nutter gave Marshall some good minutes there.
Yeah, he gave him great minutes. He gave him some scoring, which, that's not his calling cards. Calling cards on the defense end, but he's had some clutch baskets in addition to the good defense. You mentioned those turnover numbers, Mark. Troy has 15 turnovers, but only 3 this half. So they've done a really good job of taking care of the ball. Conversely, Marshall has had more turnovers this half than they did in the first half. So that's what's allowed Troy to climb back in this game.
Mingo to Gibbs. Gibbs taking it to the hoop, and Gibbs will be fouled.
And that's just a scouting report error on Troy. Jacob Gibbs wants to drive it. You don't want to close out and make him go by you. You close out short, make him shoot over top of you. Because if you close out long, he is going to go by you and get to the rim, and that's what he's best at.
Gerald Bellamy committing the foul. Cornelius Jackson looks on. Jacob Gibbs up and in. He's the left-hander. His brother Cade, the right-hander. So speaking of brothers, Marcus Rigsby Jr. back on the floor. He has 4 fouls in the game, and he's out there with brother Miles. And good job by Jacob Gibbs. Gibbs came in 10 of 13 at the free throw line, so he's gotten his 11th and 12th of the season. Dowd rifles, can't get it to go. Gibbs gets the missed shot.
And that's now 0 for 10 for Dowd. Somebody, if you're Troy, you like the confidence, but maybe find somebody else and get a different shot there.
Nate Martin wanted to back in there, thought about it, goes to Spear. Spear will let a 3 fly. It won't go, and bodies collide for the missed shot, and the foul will be against Marshall. So it's going to be number 2 on Jacob Gibbs, and we will walk the floor here. Another look at.
Yeah, strong rebound by Dowd, and I mentioned a minute ago, maybe try to get him a layup or something to get him going. Now he's going to the free throw line for 2. So, struggling so far tonight, but I'm sure he'll forget about that if he can put these free throws in and then maybe make a shot or 2 down the stretch to help Troy get over the hump.
70% free throw shooter, and has now scored in the game. Again, 12 points, 13 rebounds against Marshall last season. Has a season high of 14 against New Orleans, and he had 22 in a game last year against Oregon State. So they've met Oregon State a season ago, Oregon this year. Oregon, of course, coached by former Thundering Herd head man Dana Altman. What an incredible job he has done. Did a nice job here in Huntington. Only had him for 1 year, and then it was off to K-State, then Creighton with the Blue Jays, and then on to the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. Here's Gibbs driving in, and then at the last second gives it to Anna Chili-Killen, who will follow it up. Anna Chili-Killen with 4 here in this second half, gives him 17 for the game. 4-point Thundering Herd edge.
And a good job by Gibbs attacking, dropping it off to Obina. And Obina didn't hang his head when he missed the first one. Went right back after it, got the second one, was able to put it in. Good job staying with the play.
Miles Rigsby thought about a 3 and penetrated. They almost lose it. And here is Miles Rigsby driving in, and he will get the whistle. And we just go under the 4-minute mark here. And that will bring us to a timeout. What a battle between Marshall and Troy. Thundering Herd clinging to a 4-point lead. Number 4 at the line when we return.
You ready for the NFL playoffs?
What you got, Chad?
Let's put cameras on every player. Weather and 4D. Hibachi vendors.
What do you want? Shrimp. Okay, made up.
So you guys like my ideas?
No.
The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
This is TGL presented by SoFi. 24 of the best players in the world, no, the universe, pitted against each other 3 versus 3. 6 teams in a first-of-its-kind arena. We added shot clocks, mic'd up players, playoffs, overtime, and you get to watch it all on ESPN, baby. Keep up. It's golf.
Hey, college basketball fans.
Your favorite teams and conferences
are on ESPN Plus,
You get a stellar slate of in-conference games,
including the Big 12, Atlantic 10, and many more.
Sign up now and catch your favorite teams.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000+ out-of-market games, exclusive matchups, marquee NHL events, and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster.
This is star power from the jump. The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
The 2025 NCAA FCS Championship game, Monday, January 6th on ESPN.
Tap into an entire world of sports. ESPN.
Second of a 4-game homestand for the Thundering Herd of Marshall. 2 to go. And trying to get to 2-0 in this homestand. And here is what lies ahead next week on Elmore.
Yeah, and that's why this is a big game, because you've got 2 games next week at home. If you win those 2 games, you potentially move to 4-1. And now you're right back in it after losing the opener at Southern Miss. But on this last play, I know Rigsby's going to be shooting free throws. We've made a lot about Dowd's shooting struggles today. There was a loose ball there that Marshall should have had. Dowd had no business getting it, but he dove in there. He's played hard. He's done everything right. He got that loose ball, and as a result, Rigsby's going to get 2 free throws, and they're going to be able to chance to get this down to a 1-possession game.
Miles Rigsby up and got it to go. Has 2 3-pointers in the game. He's at 11 points at the moment. Make it 12 and make it a 2-point difference here between the Thundering Herd and the Troy Trojans. 6th meaning all time. Nate Martin in the lane, puts it up with the one hand and will draw the foul.
And that's a nice take there by Nate. You know, he could have, put his head down and pouted, but no, he's kept playing hard. He's kept, trying to make plays. There he got it, got the foul. Now he's going to the line, chance to make this a 2-possession game.
Gerald Bellamy committing the foul. Bellamy's 3rd. Bellamy, big body at 6'9", career high of 18 against Eastern Kentucky, and Nate Martin with a career high of 24 against Southern Miss. This is the free throw there. Cornelius Jackson encourages his 6'8" senior from Houston, Texas.
And this free throw is important. You want to make it a 3-possession game. He's missed a couple in a row at the line.
They missed it, but he gets the rebound of the miss and a foul called.
Well, we get to do it all over again. He might have missed 2, but he added a rebound. Now he gets a chance to go back to the line for 2 more. You got to put that last trip to the line behind you. Step in there, just think about what your routine is, and then knock it down.
(56-54). Martin up and is struggling here at the moment. Marshall with a rebounding edge of 33-30 against the Trojans. And that one will fall through. Martin with 9 in the game has a season high of 17 against South Carolina State. All right, 3-point game, and the guy with the basketball in his hands has knocked down 4 from the 3-point line in this showdown here on this late Saturday afternoon in Huntington. Ball knocked away, and Martin will come up with it. Zane Mingo will bring it slowly across the timeline.
And if you're Marshall, you want to work a little clock here. You want to start trying to shorten this game. Troy's been having some momentum. You want to shorten this game and try to get it over with as quickly as possible.
Martin goes to the hoop. Martin up, and it won't go. Tapped around, and the Thundering Herd. It was touched by the Trojans, so Mingo works it back into Marshall's side of the court. Shot clock is at 3. Mingo will step back and cannot get it to fall.
And that's not necessarily a total waste of a possession there for Marshall. You killed 30 seconds. It's now you've got 2 minutes, 36 seconds left in this game. So you shorten the game, considerably. So now if you get a stop, you kill another 30 seconds. And now, the Trojans are looking at, 1-2 possessions to try to, overcome this deficit.
Marcus Rigsby Jr. checking out again. He's playing with 4 fouls. Victor Valdez back in. He's got the basketball. Tell you what, good skills for this guy. 6'7" sophomore, and he can handle it as he brings it across the timeline. Here is Miles Rigsby going to the hoop. And he got it to go, and Mingo hit the floor pretty hard. There is a foul called. He put it through, but wipe off the basket.
Yeah, they're going to call that foul on the ground on the first bump there by Mingo. But if you're Rigsby, you get a chance to go to the line. You'll see here, there was the first bump, and the second bump was the one he shot on. So the ref got the first bump. He's going to the line, chance to make this a 1-possession or a 1-point game here late.
Rigsby has made.
What was that thought?
Well, he was 4 of 5. Now he's 4 of 6.
They had made 4 in a row up to that point. So,
are you blaming me again?
No, I'm just.
All right, he's going to knock in the second one to make it a 2-point game here at 57 to 55. Give me too hard of a time with jinxing these free throw shooters. I'm going to remind you of those players to watch.
Oh, man, the players to watch is brutal. I'm going to pick somebody that's not going to be in the game next time because, I feel bad doing it to these guys.
These guys they're always going to be great players to watch. Some days it may not always turn out the way you want, but boy, some outstanding talent here on the floor and in this Sun Belt Conference. Here is Gibbs from the corner. Can't get it to go. And snatching the ball is Marcus Rigsby Jr. 2-point game. And number 2 brings it across the timeline for the Trojans. Looking to tie it up or take the lead. Connerway is open. If you're Marshall, not the guy you want to see shooting it.
Yeah, that was a breakdown for Marshall. If there's anybody on the Troy's team you don't want shooting right now, is Connerway. He's been the one guy to knock him down consistently. Marshall dodged the bullet there.
Nate Martin still on the floor as Rigsby Jr. checks out. And Ryan Nutter is going to come in. Mingo will go out. 1:40 showing on the clock here.
And if you're Troy at halftime, that's all you could ask for. You're down 12. You weren't really in the game at all. Played much better the second half. Now you have a chance to tie the game with a minute to go and then see who wins.
Connerway with a terrific move to the basket and ties the game with 1:32 remaining. Connerway with 20. Came in averaging 9.9.
And you'll see on this move, just got Nutter, bumped him a little bit, knocked him off his balance, stepped through, finished with the left hand. Good move by Connerway. But now the question is, if you're Coach Jackson, who do you go to? You've got 26 points scored so far this half. That's a very bad offensive half of basketball. You haven't had much rhythm. What can you draw up to get yourself a good shot and give your guys a chance to, take the lead here?
Connerway with a career high now in the game. Outstanding crowd here at the Cam Henderson Center. Always a wonderful place to take it in. A basketball game. Connerway, a second straight game in which he delivered 4 from behind the 3-point line. Three ties in the game. 2 lead changes. Marshall has led 37-05 of this game. But right now, we are even. Here's Nate Martin. Jacob Gibbs. Goes to Martin. Martin wants to attack. And he'll put it up off the glass, won't go. Dowd comes out there with the rebound, gets it to Conaway. Conaway speeds ahead of Mingo and can't get it to go. Under a minute remaining in the basketball game, a 57-57 contest.
And that was a big rebound by Dowd a minute ago, still playing hard. Conaway just got sped up a little too fast.
Obina and a Chili Killen in the lane, could not get it to drop. Advantage Troy, they have the basketball.
And look for Troy to try to get it back in Conaway's hands. He's been sort of their playmaker, the initiator of their offense. Look for them to try to find him.
Miles Rigsby driving, couldn't get it to go. A collision underneath. And the foul going to be charged to Marshall. So it's going to go against Jacob Gibbs. That will be his third.
And you'll see that he was battling underneath, going for that rebound, just came flying in. That's a tough call to make. Tie game, 27 seconds left on the clock. Guys are just going for the rebound. But if you're Troy, fortunate enough, got 2 free throws here to try to take the lead. So you know it's not Troy's fault. The call was bad, so now they got to try to take advantage of it.
Jackson Fields at the free throw line.
And if you're Marshall, you fouled the right guy. Oh, he's been struggling as of late from the field. So maybe you get lucky, force another miss, and then you take the last shot here in regulation and try to win it.
Fields has 4 points a game, make it 5 as he gets the second free throw. And it's 58-57. Michael Dawson back in the game for the Thundering Herd, and time will be called. What a game here on Elmore.
Yeah, great game. You know, it hasn't been the most efficient or most offensively pleasing game, but 58-57, 1-point game, 20 seconds to go. You know, this is where you see what you're made of as a team.
Troy coming in with a 4-game winning streak. 9-4 record. 2-0 in the league. 3-3 on the road. Marshall looking to get to 9 wins. 8-7, 1-1 in Sun Belt Conference play.
If you're Coach Jackson here, you know, normally I'd say, you know, find Nate Martin, but with his struggles in, you know, recent games, I think you have to run some type of action to get a look for Obina. Whether that be, you know, normally they'll run like a ball screen just as some dummy action, and then they'll cross screen Obina to the strong side to get it to him in the post. I'd look for them to try to go inside to Obina here, try to, you know, take the lead late.
And the Chili Killen has 17 to lead Marshall. Meanwhile, Peyton Conaway with a career-high 20, top scorer for the Trojans of Troy. So Marshall will have Obina and a Chili Killen, Nate Martin, Michael Dawson out on the floor, Jalen Spear and Zane Mingo.
One thing you have to be conscientious about if you're Marshall is you need to go quick on this possession. You don't want to rush it, but you need to go quick. You need to give yourself a chance for an offensive rebound. But also, if you miss, you need to give yourself a chance to foul and get another shot at it. So you want to go quick. You don't want to kill the whole game right here.
Zane Mingo. Wheels around, goes to Dawson. Dawson in trouble. Dawson lets it fly, and it won't go. Rebound by Conaway, and that will do it.
And, you know, Mark, that's what I was trying to say is you got to go quick and give yourself a chance to get 2 possessions there. Didn't get a very good look, and unfortunately, because you took so long, you killed the 20 seconds on the clock, you're not going to get a chance to foul or extend the game. And that's a tough one to lose if you're Marshall.
So the Troy Trojans there is Dawson firing it up and couldn't get it to drop through, and Troy escapes with the 58-57 victory. Many thanks to Chad Mays, sports information for men's basketball at Troy, Cody Lynn, Grant Traylor here at Marshall. Great job by our crew as always. And so Marshall falls, and they are now at 8-8, 1-2 in Sun Belt play. Obina and Chili Killen, Marshall's leading scorer 17. Game high scoring honors. Tayton Connerway has 20 for the Trojans of Troy. Marshall led it nearly the entire way, had a 14-point lead in this one, but it is Troy coming away. Some final thoughts, Ott?
That's a tough one to lose, but you're 1-2. You have 2 games at home next week. Got to bounce back, get back into the gym, practice, watch some film, and come ready to play next week. You got 2 big games at home. You win those, you're now 3-2 in conference play. You're back on the right side of 500 in Sun Belt play, and that gives you a chance to remain competitive in the league. All
right, so for Ott Elmore and Mark Martin, we say so long from the Cam Henderson Center. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.